Hi, everyone. Welcome to Flavor Friday. We are actually on time this week. My week has not been hijacked. I'm very excited, as always, to chat with all of you today. This week, I've been thinking a lot about something that, of course, came up during our workshop that many skilled cooks are interested in personal chef work, but there's still this lingering question, could this actually fit my life? I am Rebecca Connolly. I am a full time working personal chef and culinary educator. I teach classes, I do food coaching. I have a few different hats that I wear under that personal chef hat, but I am so glad that you are spending a few minutes with me this Friday for Flavor Friday. So the question is, could personal chef work actually fit my life? And especially for us moms, right? If we're making our family and our marriage a priority, we want to be present for those that are closest to us and that we love the most, right? Anything, any whether work is supplemental, whether it's all the way outside of the home, whether it's sort of in the home, out of the home, we want to make sure that it can fit our life and be flexible, but also is it profitable? Is the time put in actually worth it? And I am here to tell you that as a personal chef, as a working personal chef, yes, absolutely. So, but when most people hear food business or culinary entrepreneurship, right, we immediately imagine things like restaurants, cafes, food trucks. What does all of that include, or what comes with that? Constant customers, late nights, weekends, high stress, lots of hustle, as well as pretty high investment for anything that is brick and mortar, that has a brick and mortar component to it. Personal chef work looks very different. Even for personal chefs who may be working from a ghost kitchen and not necessarily working in their clients' homes, personal chefs working from ghost kitchens also are not chasing volume in the same way. So today, I just want to pull back the curtain for a few minutes and talk about why. So the first topic, the first item that I want to address is that look, personal chef work is not a volume business. This is one of the largest misconceptions that I have run across in my almost 20 years in this industry. Many food businesses, right, those that are most visible, depend on selling products, doing events, finding new customers every week, operating at a high volume, right? You think about a restaurant, you got to turn over those tables, you got to fill the tables every day, every service, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, or just dinner. You need to make sure that however many covers you have, that's going to not only cover your operating expenses, but you also need to cover your overhead. You need to cover your overhead, you need to cover your staff, you need to pay yourself, right? I've been a personal chef since 2007, almost 20 years, and it definitely looks much simpler than all of that. And trust me, as a philosophy major, as someone who has been in teaching and ministry for almost as long as I've been a personal chef, I needed a business model that was simple to implement as well as simple to keep track of. So here's the thing. I started my business in 2007 down in San Antonio, Texas. And in 2012, we moved to Shawnee, Oklahoma, which is about a 45-minute drive outside the metro area. So, at first glance, not entirely ideal for a local personal chef client base necessarily, right? But definitely ripe for cooking classes and food coaching and events. Um, but since moving to Oklahoma, many of my clients have been with me for more than 10 years. I'm not constantly replacing clients. I'm infrequently looking for new clients simply because I've opened up more personal chef cook dates available as my family commitments and responsibilities have shifted over the years as my children have grown. Now they're mainly out of the house, right? We're college nesting. So I have more days to myself, more days that I can offer for cook dates. I'm helping a relatively small number of families or single clients extremely well. Dinner happens every day. the need for dinner does not disappear. And the relief that my clients find in that 10 to 15 hours a week that I'm putting back into their hands through cook dates is that relief has very tangible, palpable, real life impact value for them. So I'd love for you to ask yourself, if you only had to serve one family exceptionally well, how would that change how you think about starting a personal chef business? I'm going to, while you're thinking about that, I'm going to pop over, make sure I am where I need to be, right? We always need to check our tech. Let's see. Is it saying that I'm live? Let me repost over. Yes, I am. So hopefully you are thinking about that question. If you only need to serve one client exceptionally well for uh, impact in your life and in theirs, does that change? Would that change how you think about personal chef work? All right. Second point, families are not paying for food. They think they're paying for food, and the food is certainly significant. You do have to be able to cook. You do have to be able to make delicious food, right? But people are paying for relief. They are paying for relief from meal planning, shopping, decision fatigue, last minute takeout, constantly thinking about dinner. Individually, we make upwards of 200 decisions related to food every single day. And if you are making those decisions for a family, or even just for you and your husband, those decisions are multiplied. So no wonder why we're already exhausted by the time we get into the kitchen for dinner. And that's decisions on top of all the other decisions that we're making every day, right? No matter how rote or subconscious those may be. I've noticed something recently when I order our personal groceries, the app now tells me you have saved yourself 1 hour of grocery shopping time. I'm like, oh, okay. Makes me feel better about ordering ahead. Um, but that's, as personal chefs, that's what we are giving back to our clients, back to the families that we serve. We are giving them their time back. And how much time? If it's a weekly cook date and we're cooking most of their meals for the week, lunches and dinners, that's 10 to 15 hours easily back into their hands that they do not have to spend meal planning and shopping, cooking, cleaning, preparing, right? So the meals certainly matter. You do have to be able to cook. You need to be able to meal plan. You need to be able to create menus that are appealing to your clients, right? But the transformation that the clients experience in their own lives by being gifted back their time is much bigger than the food itself. They're buying back their time, they're buying back their mental space, they're buying back energy that they can then put into tasks that are more of a priority for them, right? All all while also being nourished well by you. Okay, so I've had clients tell me, I don't know what I'd do without you. So it's not really about the chicken or the vegetables or the steak or the seafood or, whatnot. It's about the relief that they experience in their everyday living, the change that they experience in their overall quality of life. All right, third point. The schedule is more flexible than as a personal chef, your schedule is much more flexible than you might think, right? That's another misconception. People think personal chefs work nights and weekends. Let's pause here for a moment and make a distinction between a personal chef and a private chef. A private chef is employed by one family, one client, and usually is pretty much on call all day long, and perhaps and probably nights and weekends as well if they're the sole, if they're really the private chef. They're cooking the meals for the entire day, snacks, everything. They're handling all of that, plus personal private events that their client might be hosting, right? So that's a totally different model. Personal chefs service multiple clients. Usually, the base of their business is in home meal preparation that takes place Monday through Friday, or Monday through Wednesday, Monday through however many days a week they decide they want to chef, right? During regular business hours, and everything else is optional. The foundation of my business has always been in-home meal preparation for clients. And I've always offered that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then add on Thursday if needed. And then I do keep, in general, Thursday, Friday, and the weekends free if I want to pick up parties, events, anything that's outside of in-home meal preparation. And I found when I did start my business back in March 2007 that I quickly started to include those sorts of events. But again, in my business plan with what my family commitments are and how busy I wanted to be and where I set my income goals, I wanted to do maybe a special event per month, maybe one party per month, maybe one cooking class per month, and add it in as it fit into my uh, family schedule, right? Now, of course, I'm a little bit more free to do that, but it all depends, right? So many personal chefs focus only on in-home meal preparation, and that happens during the week. I generally cook. So, yes, I generally cook during the daytime, during regular business hours. I decide how many days that I work, how many days that I offer. If I have an inquiry come in, and which I do, and I have all of my days filled, which at the moment I do, and then I waitlist them or I tell them I could have an opening on this date in, another few months or another few weeks when another client is possibly, thinking about changing their service. So I decide how many clients I take. And as I've said, I've gradually expanded my schedule, changed my schedule over the years as the family needs and income needs have changed. So that's definitely, it is so flexible. It's crazy flexible. That's one of the things that I do appreciate the most about this work. So, I want to ask you, what then would one additional day of meaningful, flexible work mean for your family right now? For me, many years, one additional day, just cooking on Mondays for a weekly client, for an every other week client, doing a group of clients on one week, significantly changed significantly contributed to our family income. It helped to pay for activities, kids' activities. It helped to pay for vacations. It helped to pay. So at that point, it was supplemental, right? But now now that I have more time, it has definitely shifted more into small business. So think about that for yourself. What would just one additional day of meaningful, flexible work mean for you and or your family right now? All right. And the last point that I wanted to address today, the skills, your cooking skills matter more than your credentials. This is another thing that skilled home cooks still can have a little bit of a imposter syndrome about, right? So most of the skills that I use are not fancy chef skills. They are not skills that are used sort of on the line in Michelin starred restaurants or fine dining or that sort of thing, or even in a high volume, or even in a cafe. These are not skills that are needed in a home kitchen for as a personal chef. All right. Most of the skills that I use most often are planning, organization, flavor building, problem solving, communication, and adaptability. Again, cooking is maybe 30% of an entire personal chef business. Everything else is actually about running the business. Okay. So if you are a wonderful home cook, all of those skills that come with being a wonderful home cook also will make you excellent as a personal chef. So think about this. Drop it down below if you'd like to share. What kitchen skills feel ordinary to you right now? Is it meal planning? Does that come easily to you? And again, these things probably come easily to you, not because you have an innate talent for them, but because you've practiced them. Perhaps you learned them from your own mom or your own grandma, or you saw it modeled in your own family and you've been able to capitalize on that and increase those skills in your own personal and family life, right? So, what kitchen skills feel ordinary to you right now? Is it meal planning? Is it adjusting recipes? Is it building flavor, organizing meals, helping people feel cared for. Those are not small things. All of those are incredibly valuable skills that transform the kitchen rhythm, that transform the home environment in such a deep and meaningful way, right? It's palpable. The change is palpable when those things are taken care of in a home because we eat at least 3 times a day, right? We've got a plan: breakfast, lunch, dinner, possibly a couple of snacks, depending on what your nutrition needs are, depending on your health goals, right? And that's a whole other ball of wax. Trying to account for nutrition needs as they change throughout your lifetime, not only for you, but perhaps also for your husband, for your kids, for those, for your people that you're planning for, that you're feeding, which is also why I teach the Flavor First framework. So personal chef work, I think, definitely remains one of the most overlooked opportunities for skilled cooks because especially now with celebrity chefs, with social media chefs, with just with the advent of so much sharing of what goes on in a restaurant kitchen or in a home kitchen, right? I think and personal chef work remains overlooked as an actual opportunity for those of us who are skilled home cooks. It provides meaningful, impactful work, both for you and for your client. It provides flexible income and highly profitable if your business is structured properly. It is based on relationships. It is not based on volume. It is not based on product. You're not selling food. You are a service focused entrepreneur. You are helping people in real time, one on one, making a difference in their lives. And again, if your business is structured properly, you're building something sustainable, something that you can almost put on autopilot if you have the right systems in place. And you're not going to burn out, even if you're doing it as a solopreneur. Again, if you have the right systems in place. And many of you who are skilled home cooks are closer to having this sort of business in your life if you want it. Now, I know that every person's situation is different. Maybe this fits your life. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe this model appeals to you. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe now is the right season. Maybe it isn't. Maybe later will be. But if you've been following along and wondering whether this could fit your life, I would love to chat with you for a few minutes. I've opened up kitchen to income calls over the next few days. No pressure, no obligation, just a conversation. I love to chat and get to know everyone. We're going to just talk about briefly where you are right now, what your goals are, whether personal chef work might fit your life, and what your next steps could look like. Doors for my next 90-day program close on Monday at midnight. So if you've been curious, now is a wonderful time to have that conversation with me. Drop call down below or use the booking link, and I look forward to chatting with each and every one of you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Rebecca Connolly, and remember, flavor is how we savor at the table and in real life. Keep it simple until I see you next time.